Everyone, welcome to the show. I have incredible news. I have the best news to share with you. Joe Biden can have Donald Trump murdered, and it's completely legit. It's completely within his rights. As president, Biden cannot be charged with a crime if he orders SEAL Team 6 to off Trump. Is that not the best? I mean, just ask Trump's attorneys. That's what they said. Yeah, that is the batshit crazy argument that Trump's attorney, John Sauer, made yesterday before an appeals court panel. U.S. District Judge Florence Pan questioned the idea that, according to Sauer's argument, a president could order SEAL Team 6 to murder his political rivals and face no consequences. And Trump's attorney was like, yep, that's correct. I mean, of course, she couldn't get him to come right out and say yes, because even he knew how insane in the membrane that sounds. But essentially, Trump's attorney is arguing that unless the House impeaches a president and the Senate convicts the president, he or she cannot be criminally prosecuted. Now, of course, that is completely absurd, but that's the horse that they've decided to ride. And the prosecutor used Trump's own attorneys, or his former attorneys' words against them. Because during Trump's second impeachment that was related to the January 6th attack, Trump's own attorney argued that the Senate should not convict him and remove him from office because the attorney said, the jury should be the one to decide his guilt or innocence. That we'll just let the legal system handle this. That should be handled after he leaves office. And Trump attended these proceedings, even though he didn't have to be there. I have a feeling he was there to pressure his attorneys. I have a feeling they did not want to make these ridiculous arguments. And I can hear the discussion. I can hear the argument in my head. And from Trump's point of view, sir, how when you put on your pants in the morning, do you think that I'm going to make this argument? Sir, we can't really say this because it's insane. Sir. He was on his knees. He had tears streaming down his cheeks, John Sauer did. Anyway, when Trump left the courthouse, he told the press that he thought the hearing went well for him. And that is just LOL. And if this is the argument that they plan to use with the Supreme Court, I am so here for it. I say go for it. Because SCOTUS may be filled with a bunch of conservative nut jobs and Trump stooges, but even they know what's at stake. They don't want to hand that kind of unlimited power to President Biden or another Democratic president in the future. They're not about to do that. And the American people are not on board with this. The American people are not buying Trump's blanket immunity BS either. There was a new CBS poll that was just released, and the majority of the respondents said that Trump should not be granted blanket immunity from prosecution. So the overwhelming majority of Democrats and independents were against Trump being granted immunity. And surprise, surprise, I mean, the so-called Law and Order Party said, oh yeah, he should get a pass for all of his crimes. 69% of Republicans said that Trump should not be held liable for actions he took while he was the president. And then the poll asked another interesting question. They asked respondents if after the 2020 election, they believed that Trump and his team either A, plan to stay in the presidency through legal processes, B, if they plan to stay in the presidency through illegal activities, or if they didn't plan to stay in the presidency beyond his term in office at all. A plurality said he planned to use illegal means. Sad that it's not a majority, but 29% said he was trying to use legal methods, and then only 26% said, oh no, he never planned to stay in office. And sadly, only a slim majority, 53%, agreed with the statement that Trump's indictments and investigations are upholding the rule of law. 47% agreed that this is an unfair attempt to stop Trump from becoming the president. It is truly frightening how many uninformed and underinformed people we have in this country. Next up is news about the E Jean Carroll case. As I recently shared, an appeals panel rejected Trump's argument of presidential immunity. So Trump asked the full appeals court to weigh in on this matter. Well, on Monday, the appeals court refused to hear the case. They're like, no, we're just going to let the other panel's decision stand. So the trial will begin next week, and the judge just issued a huge list of topics that are off limits. Trump's team is barred from discussing a whole bunch of things because just like with the Rudy Giuliani defamation trial, this trial is just about how much Trump owes Carroll. The judge has already ruled in Carroll's favor and found that Trump did, in fact, defame her with actual malice. So here are a few of the topics, at least, of what Trump's attorneys cannot mention to the jury. They can't say anything about DNA. They can't suggest or imply that Trump did not sexually abuse Carroll or that she lied for any reason. And Trump's team cannot talk about Carroll's past. And the judge also ruled that Trump's infamous Access Hollywood tape can be admitted into evidence. So the jury can look at that to try to determine his state of mind. So we should know before the end of this month how much more Trump owes E Jean Carroll. It could never possibly be enough. I mean, to have that grotesque ogre put his hands on me, there is not enough money on the planet. Next up is news about Trump's New York fraud trial. That's coming to an end this Thursday. Both sides are slated to make their closing arguments that day, and there's a lot on the line for Trump's family, as you know. The entire company could be shuttered, and they could be on the hook for almost $400 million. They could be barred from doing any type of real estate business in the state of New York. Well, last night, it was reported that Trump planned to deliver at least part of the closing argument himself. That would be comedy gold. I was so looking forward to it. Unfortunately, Judge Engoron is a buzzkill. He does not want us to have any fun. The judge told Trump's attorneys that because Trump is refusing to stick to relevant topics, he's not allowed to deliver closing arguments. He wrote to them and said, I've given you 3 deadlines, 3 extended deadlines. I'm assuming he's not going to agree to what have imposed in the conditions that I've given him. So we're not doing this. So that's where it stands. I will let you know when that all goes down tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.